Hello everybody, this is Janice, and I am back with part 2 of my thank you card. I'm using a Hero Art stamp that I got on clearance at Michael's yesterday. Here it is. I've attached it to my Fiskars stamp press, which I absolutely love, love, love. And what we're going to do is we're going to use black soot and my Versamark to emboss this image because we're going to color it with some distress markers. And I probably won't color the whole thing. Maybe I will. We'll see. So we want to just ink this up really, really well. You can get a re-inker for this if yours is getting dry. And then this is just the black soot. I'm just going to go over the entire image. And this is just one way that you can do this. There's lots of different ways. I like to add the Versamark because it gives you a good crisp or a good emboss. You can emboss with distress ink because it's wet ink, but I like to just give it a little more. And then what we want to do, this is just Georgia Pacific paper, nothing fancy. It's from Walmart, pretty inexpensive. And this is an anti-static bag that you want to use when you are embossing. And then we're just going to go ahead and give this a good even pressure. Just walk your fingers around, especially where this image is, or the sentiment. Okay, and there we go, nice and crisp. Then we're going to take some clear embossing powder. And I just like to keep it in this container with a spoon. And mine just happens to have, if you see some sparkle, it's just glitter it's contaminated with glitter, but I love glitter, so it doesn't matter to me. Okay. Cover that up. And then I'm going to move my little pad out of the way, otherwise it will melt. I'm going to take my heat tool. This one is this is the heated tool from Ranger. If you just Google Ranger Heat It tool, you can find it online. Or you can usually find it in specialty scrapbooking stores, you know, like your local scrapbooking stores. The big box stores don't carry it as far as I know. I've never seen it, or at least recently. I haven't seen it at Joann's or Michael's. But I have been to Joann's in probably a month. Okay. So it's nice shiny emboss. There, we'll give that a moment to cool. And then just going to clean this off because we're going to use this as a palette. I would say this is a must-have, even for your children for doing their projects and things. The other day my son was painting a little car, a little plaster of Paris car that he made, and I didn't have any newspaper because I took it all to school for painting and things like that, and we used this, and it cleans up so easily, and you don't have to, you know, keep saving newspapers. You can just send them off to be recycled. Okay, so like I said, I probably won't do this whole thing, but let me show you. This is the peeled paint. That's the color that I used. I think I'm going to do something different this time. Hold on. Let's use our spiced marmalade first. So basically, you just kind of scribble on your craft mat. And you get your aqua pen, and mine is running low. But I actually have have 3 different, they're all varying sizes, but they do the same thing. Let's see, this one's low too. I should have checked that before I started. But I like this one because this is the large one. And Ranger has one now that is really cool. You can find that at Michael's, probably Joann's too. And then all I'm doing is painting this on. And the embossing kind of helps to keep the color from going into the other areas. Of course, you know, if that's what you want, if you want them to bleed together, then you'll have no problem with this. And this is not watercolor paper. You can use watercolor paper. And that's it. You just keep, it's so relaxing. I love this. It's not meant to be a hurried process. But because this is not watercolor paper, this Georgia Pacific, you know, you want to kind of not squeeze the barrel too much on this. And then we can switch to our little detail one here to get in here. And then what I did is I just dried it in between colors with my with my heat tool. I just dry it. And then we can just go over this entire thing. And there's the orange. And that is spice marmalade. I think I said that. And your embossing will get sticky again, so you won't want to run your finger over it. Don't do that. And then for these little berries, I colored it in with Warren lipstick. So this is the color that I coordinated with the pink from Recollections. We'll do these after, at the end. Okay, and then for the flowers, and so I did the same thing basically for the little green frame. But for the green, I used this forest moss for that part, and I just did more of the same. You can see I try to do some shading and things. I'm not really that good at it, but I mean, I like the way it looks. It's kind of cool. And then for the flower, I used 3 different pinks. Try to get this cleaned up here so we don't. So I started with this, let's start with this lightest color. This is the Tattered Rose. And if you don't already know this, these colors don't coordinate perfectly, you know, with your, the colors are a little bit different, but that's okay, you know. When you do art or craft or anything, you can't be too hung up on things being exact. Or at least that's my feeling. It's just fun. It's supposed to be fun and relaxing. So I try not to get hung up on things like that. I try. I have my days when I'm fussy. So I love it. I'm really happy with my markers. I'm so glad that I have them. Okay, so that was so you can see that's really pale. I'm going to go ahead and get some more and do the one on the bottom too. And again, not supposed to be a rushed process, so, and I'm going to dry that now. And we're going to go with the next color. This one is Spun Sugar. And then when you're switching colors, if you want to, it doesn't matter with the pinks, but if we were going from a different color and you didn't want to have that, just kind of clean it in between, obviously. And then we're just going to kind of go in more towards the center and just add a little more, a deeper color. And you can go around the edges if you want. Oh, why did I do that? I wanted to do a little bit more. Just to give it a little dimension. And just, you know, just play with it. That's the main thing, is don't get discouraged. Just keep playing. You know, if you think, oh, but I can't, you know, I can't get it the way I like, you just got to try different things out and see what works for you. Because you might have a different technique that works better. And so now that was the worn lipstick. So now I'm going to go in and just add the worn lipstick to the center. And a little bit to the edges. And that's it. You just keep adding your layers till you get the desired effect that you want. That's it. Just going to do the center of this one a little more. And then dry it. Okay, and then I just went in and I cut this thing out by hand, which is probably my least favorite thing to do, but there's no other way to do it because I don't have a die. I'm just drying it on the back to get it to flatten, but then you have to be careful that it doesn't stick to your mat. And then what I did to the center, you may not be able to tell this, but there's rock candy stickles on all of these to add a little added sparkle. For the leaves, I just went in with peeled paint and just, you know, colored those in. And that's it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.